Yum 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 yum. Yum 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 yum. This is a good lunch idea. I'm sorry. This is
I see that instead of me hosting this podcast, I get my script eaten by my co-host Grant.
Yeah, there you go. But but this isn't cooking with Grant Starson, unfortunately. That'll come in due time. But this is actually Protocol 4, hosted by William Bell for an indeterminate amount of time for this week.
Yeah,
so.
I may or may not be weary in the middle of this podcast. That'd be weird, but that's the break sometimes.
Yeah, so when you hear the poof, that was William poofing off the lunch. So
But let's not forget about our friend Logan. He's always going to be here for us.
Yeah, hey guys.
So the times when
Hey, yeah, that was a weird man. Just to make it clear to the audience, Grant is actually eating lunch, which was the source of that bit. Ended up being a weird bit, but
yeah, I'm doing this Protocol 4 podcast on a tight schedule, so I gotta combine some stuff.
Early days of the podcast, we can do whatever the hell we want. No one can stop us. There's no format. Really, it's all just it's all like imagined. It's not real. There's no actual format. We can do whatever the hell we want. But
it's like I'm watching Evo right now while I'm podcasting.
Yeah.
Speaking of Evo, our friend Johnny is so busy with his Evo stuff that he can't join us on the podcast, which is unfortunate because there has been some recent news that I feel he would be better to present it, but I guess I need to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. So first things first, at the end of Marvel vs. Capcom 3's final, we got one of the new characters for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Jeddah from Darkstalkers, and he looks pretty interesting. He has a slight redesign, and his model I feel looks pretty good compared to Chun-Li's face, as lots of people complain about Chun-Li's face.
They should have made his face purposefully suck just to piss people off.
Dang. Then after BlazBlue, there was some huge stuff for me, especially because first of all, we got Jubei coming to BlazBlue Central Fiction. Jubei himself being in the first BlazBlue game as the main character's teacher. He's a cat with a sword. And it took this long for him to show up as a DLC character. But, some BlazBlue fans are like, oh man, get the Jubei now. Get the cat. But not only that, Arxis, I think, is looking at Marvel vs. Capcom, and they're just sitting there in their chairs going, no, Capcom, that Marvel vs. Capcom money's pretty big. Let's make Dragon Ball Fighter Z, okay? Let's make that. Who will want that? But what if we made an attack fighter with BlazBlue in it? What if we did that? And they did it. Yeah, it has Persona 4 arena characters such as Yu Narukami. It has the main character whose name I forgot to top of my head, and also a chick from RWBY, which is a thing I don't watch. Do you guys watch it?
No, we don't. Yeah, this week, I'll just, as a short aside, is a weird week for stuff we don't watch, because Game of Thrones comes back tonight, on the day we're recording this Sunday. So big night for almost all TV watchers. And then the new Doctor Who was announced today, which was a woman for the first time, and we also can't talk about that because we don't watch Doctor Who.
I know people watch Doctor Who. That's all I got.
We try to cover as many bases as we can, but we can't get everything. So yeah, RWBY or Ruby, I guess you can just call it, I think, is one of those bases. Good for those.
The character showed up from RWBY's named Ruby, so is it actually still just called Ruby? Okay.
I believe the show is also pronounced, I think.
So is this game, it's like a 3-on-3 fighting game like Marvel?
2-on-2.
2-on-2? Yeah. It's very interesting. So it's got Persona, RWBY, it's got Dragon Ball characters? Oh,
not Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball's its own thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's definitely interesting. I have to see how much gameplay do they have for it so far?
It was just a trailer. We saw a bit of the characters there, so.
Okay. Definitely have to keep an eye on that. Arxis.
And the last. There's one more thing. Grant.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
This one company, Arika, who made Street Fighter EX, Tekken Grandmaster, they came back with their own fighting game. I couldn't tell if it was a 3D fighter or not because I couldn't hear the stream what was going on, but They're making their own fighting game that includes Skullomania and Doran from Street Fighter EX, which is pretty great because people want Skullomania, and I'm pretty sure Rick is like, Street Fighter 5 is kind of a tire fire. Let's just have our own game. I said Protocol 4 don't take a stance on whether or not Capcom's a good company.
Yeah, Johnny.
Like jokes.
Johnny did say on Twitter because he has time to be on Twitter, but not on the podcast.
This is the passive aggressive edition of the Protocol 4 one.
He says that after Arxis and Arika's announcements, Capcom has a lot to match up to, and I don't think Abigail's going to cut it. I believe Abigail is the character who people think will be coming to Street Fighter 5 next. It's a guy, I think. Weird. So yeah, Johnny thinks that this is just these announcements are just going to push Capcom further and further down into despair.
By the end of Tekken 7's finals, I'm pretty sure you're going to see Cosmo Kiryu from Yakuza being in Tekken 7. I'm pretty sure that's going to be announced.
Wait, do
Capcom's going to sit here going,
people actually think that?
Yeah.
Oh, that could be cool.
What, the main character of Yakuza is going to be in it?
That's what people think. That's why I'm hoping too. That'll be like a huge thing for me.
That it would be interesting. I gotta play Yakuza actually. Yeah.
They better like put some trampolines on the ground outside the Capcom headquarters just to make sure that.
Oh no!
But anyway.
Dark humor there.
Yeah.
The next topic is something that you're especially sub-Logan.
Yeah, so we're done with that, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I guess what we're going to launch into next is another big gaming topic this week. There was another new trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3, which was at this event Disney holds every year called D23. I forget why it's called that. There is a reason. This is not the 23rd one. It's called that every year. It's a sort of a convention that Disney holds all on their own to showcase stuff, not just in terms of movies, but in terms of games and in terms of their own theme parks. So it was really big this year. It kind of seems to get bigger every year. There kind of seems to be more awareness of it every year. And it was really big this year, and they had a gaming panel with...
May I make one introduction for you, Logan?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you remember when the Walt Disney Company was founded?
No, what do you mean?
1923.
Yeah, oh, well, there you go. Yeah, you looked that up, and I was too lazy to do it.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to make that one little
No, that's good. Yes, now I know. And so yeah, they had this gaming panel. Not I guess you call it a press conference hosted by these two YouTubers. One of whom is Jacksepticeye, who was a really huge YouTuber. A lot of the people were annoyed with these hosts. I was not too annoyed. But they went into Battlefront. They revealed this Marvel VR game. They went into Spider-Man PS4 a little bit, and then they went into Kingdom Hearts, and they showed they had Tetsuya Nomura on stage, really cool, and they showed a long new trailer for the game that made the huge reveal of the new world in Kingdom Hearts 3 being a Toy Story world, which is massive. It looks amazing. The footage that they show really does look pretty much just like the animation in Toy Story 2. Which I believe is where the world story, which is an original story, takes place after that movie. Sora, Donald, and Goofy are turned into toys for this world, and you start in Annie's room, but you go outside of Annie's room into the street. It looks beautiful.
Beautiful.
The worlds in general look very good in Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, they're a lot more expansive, which is nice. One comment I want to make, though, is why the fuck doesn't the villain turn into a toy when he's in Toy Story universe?
I believe there's an explanation for that. I believe when they change form in Kingdom Hearts, Donald does that to make sure that they fit in. So, I think that's his decision. Yeah.
I guess that would make sense. Even though there's no actual reason for them to do that, since everyone knows that they're not from that world, but yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. It's fun.
Get that limited edition Donald figurine. Whoa.
I mean, that's actually what's happening. I don't know if you know that. They're releasing figures of those three, the toy versions of the characters, so that you got that sweet, sweet merch coming in. But yeah, the worlds look really beautiful. All the graphics are good. There's a lot of verticality to the world, which is like I feel like everybody in gaming is trying to do verticality, and you can like kind of jump off of high areas and stuff. And yeah,
which Capcom will employees of Capcom will very much so appreciate that experience.
Anyway, yeah, it just looks really fun. The gameplay looks as great as ever. We talked about the gameplay quite a bit, I think, when the previous trailer was released about a month ago. So there's not much more to say on that front, except that it's really cool to have Pixar be in Kingdom Hearts.
Logan actually explained to me how Pixar is like a huge deal with Kingdom Hearts, because my ignorant self has only played one and dreamed about this, so I thought, well, if it's being Kingdom Hearts, right?
Yeah, no, that's not true for everything. Yeah, I don't know what the deal was in Kingdom Hearts 2. In the data in Kingdom Hearts 2, you could actually find very rudimentary, not even textured models of Buzz and Woody. That's an interesting fun fact, and now they're in the game, and it looks great. And what does this mean for A, other Pixar movies, B, Marvel and Star Wars? It means nothing for Marvel and Star Wars. That's not happening. I can tell you guys that right now.
I don't know. I wouldn't be so quick to say that.
I would. Well, there you go.
I feel like if Disney thinks mega bucks will get from that they'll get it from that, then they'll push for it.
That may be true. This trailer seems to be getting a huge reaction. I think it was very high up on like the YouTube trending.
I mean, to be fair, I would love to see Sora try to friendship hug Kylo Ren. That would be amazing. Like, Kylo Ren, please, you can be the good guy. I believe in you.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting. I feel like maybe The Force Awakens might be I don't really know, when they started developing this stuff. So The Force Awakens was like a year after Frozen, which may well be the newest world in the game. Or no, that's not true, because Big Hero 6 is in it. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to say, if Force Awakens was too recent. I believe that was, a few months after Big Hero 6. But it could be in. Like I just said, I tend to think that's not going to be, but you never know. In any case, as cool as that was...
Pixar thing, anything can happen now.
Yeah. I don't know if there will be more. There could be more Pixar movies. We could be seeing Sora and the gang as a bunch of fishes. I guess one last thing to hope is that we will get the actual original voices for these characters. We talked about this, I think, last night. We were just talking about it. That we were hoping it was possible, and that now that games have sort of a higher profile, you can get a lot of celebrities to do voices in games, that they could get Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. It would be really cool. But we actually, in the trailer, we just got to hear the Japanese voices, which was pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see with Tom Hanks. I mean, if Tim Allen doesn't do it, Tim Allen can go suck a cock, because he's not doing anything. So yeah, he can do it. James Woods can do it, and James Woods is literally Satan. So,
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of a rabble-rouser on Twitter there. But there was a lot more news revealed at this D23 Expo. Right before we did this podcast, I posted a massive list of all the things from D23, and I guess that's going to be the bulk of this podcast, is talking about it.
Welcome to the D.
Yeah, this is like Disney edition. I did work for them at one point, so.
Logan is the D. Can't believe it.
Full disclosure.
Yeah. I'm not a Disney. I don't worship Disney like some people do.
But I do worship this great new product from Disney Studios.
Just this specific product.
Yeah.
I guess there's some people who are like that with Kingdom Hearts. So just going through all the news in kind of a random order, I guess. The first piece of news was that John Lasseter, who was one of the founders of Pixar, co-directed a lot of their earlier big movies, is no longer directing Toy Story 4. It was supposed to be his comeback, I guess. But now it's only being directed by the co-director, who his only directing credit so far is the Inside Out DVD short, Riley's First Date, which was a funny short. I'll give that to him. I enjoyed it. And he was like a co-writer or something, a writer on Inside Out. So good luck to him. More Pixar.
Why did he leave Pixar?
He didn't leave Pixar. he just left the movie, and I'm not sure why. I looked at the article, there didn't seem to actually be a reason. Yeah, maybe he wanted this guy to spread his wings. But in other Pixar news, they revealed that Incredibles 2, even though it's like, how many years later? Like 13 years after the first one? Will actually only be taking place like about a minute after the first movie.
Yeah, because it's literally a direct sequel. Like, literally direct.
Yeah. And because if you remember the end of the first one, which I have not seen since it came out, actually, viewed by many as Pixar's best film, viewed by many as one of the best animated films.
It's considered the best superhero film, isn't it? Like, it's still the highest rated.
I would believe that. People really love it.
Yeah, it's Brad Bird. He does good stuff.
Yes, that's true. And yeah, the movie ended with the attack of this villain, the Underminer, I think.
Underminer, right?
Yeah, but I guess they made a video game about that. So
yeah,
did that start where the movie ended, or?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is like there was one called Rise of the Underminer or something like that, right? It's gonna be like the Shrek video like launch Xbox game that like introduced a bunch of characters like Merlin and shit that the movies then just completely made different. So it's like it was just this very weird like spin-off, like alternate universe game. And it'll make it a very highly sought after collector's item.
Yeah, and you know what else actually did that was the Amazing Spider-Man game, which took place after the first film and had the Rhino as one of the main villains, and he was like a mutant. Not an X-Men mutant, but like he was mutated using animal DNA, which was something that they were doing in those movies. That's how the Lizard happened. But then the Rhino actually shows up in Spider-Man 2 as just this Russian guy in a mech suit. So I don't think that game is canon.
Can it be canon?
Other than that, I guess I'll have to talk about this quickly, because if I talk about it too much, Grant will get triggered. Wreck-It Ralph 2 was announced.
Oh my god, Wreck-It! No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Yeah, that could happen. It was announced to include Marvel characters, Star Wars characters, and all Disney princesses. They apparently had all the voice actresses on stage. It's like, come on, guys! Like, how much are they in this freaking movie? It's about the internet. But yeah,
I know some things about Wreck-It Ralph. I'm not sure if you're going to go into it.
It's going to be Wreck-It Ralph 2 is going to be it's secretly a dystopian future of Disney owning the internet when they repeal net neutrality.
I can't believe Disney owns Google. It's fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know if we need to go into it. I think we talked about Wreck-It Ralph 2 recently, but I don't remember if it was on the podcast or not. I feel like it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't feel like it was.
But, Grant hates the first movie. I don't hate the first movie, but I kind of preemptively hate the second movie.
The first movie at this point.
Yeah, but I kind of preemptively hate the second movie. I think it's going in the entirely wrong direction. And this just makes it kind of seem like it's kind of going to be a mess. I hope Nintendo does not let them use Mario, because they don't deserve Mario anymore. Next was a pretty impressive teaser trailer for Disney's adaptation of A Wrinkle in Time. I think both you guys watched that. Do you guys think it was cool?
Yeah, I mean, the visuals look cool. See what happens, I guess in terms of the actual adaptation of the plot, but the visuals seem really cool and unique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you liked it, Lou?
That was alright. I mean, the thing is, I don't know what A Wrinkle in Time is, so I felt like I was kind of lost for a bit.
It's when time is wrinkled, William. Come on, God.
It is.
I need to catch up.
It is a weird book, for sure. It's sort of a children's book. A lot of people read it in school. I did.
So it's like me with the Phantom Toll, dude. Okay.
Yeah, probably Maybe wonder if that'll get a live action movie. That'd be kind of cool. But it's kind of high concept in some ways. It involves fourth dimensional tesseracts, which are like a real concept in science. But like it also has a lot of religious undertones. The later books have more of those, I think, because the author Madeleine L'Engle was a very religious person. And it's just weird. There's a lot of weirdness in it. And this movie looks cool. The trailer was very dark. and it just looks visually interesting and it looks good. It's directed by Ava DuVernay, who directed Selma. She's kind of viewed, I feel like, as one of the sort of main female voices in movies now, even though her career has not lasted too long. I think a lot of people really look to her for opinions on women and race issues in movies. She's often brought up in relation with those.
I feel like this movie is going to be pretty successful with this what's the talent we have here.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, and you know, she did change the race of the main characters, which will happen. It's not too much of a big deal. You know, like I think, yeah, like it's not a big deal. Like it stars this girl who I guess Chris Pine plays her father. So it's not like, you know, they're just trying to, I don't know what you would call like the opposite of whitewash. It's not what they're doing.
Blackwashing.
Yeah, I know. Like that feels weird to say. So I like didn't really want to say.
And we'll call it tarring.
Oh god.
Whoa, okay.
Okay, I don't know, man. May want to bleep that out. But anyway, yeah, I think we're all okay with it. And you have.
I mean, just from like my many like William opinions that when it comes to a character, as long as it's just like the characters still like just themselves and just act the same way, you just have like a different actor doing that. I'm just, for me, I just like whatever. As long as keep like everyone's like just have their work that's so good. I'm just kind of like sure, whatever, just go for it.
Yeah, I will admit
it's like the Hermione thing, like Harry Potter. Like if you want her to be black, like well, sure, why not? Yeah. If she's still Hermione and she's not like not being like portrayed like a poor character, like she's being like shat on for being like that race or whatever. Whatever. You know, technically Hermione does get shat on for a reason, but still, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, even when she's not, whatever, no matter what race she is. But yeah, I will admit that I was a bit surprised when I first found it out, because I think the characters, what I recall in A Wrinkle in Time, are like very Irish. Like their last name is Murray, and I think the love interest has like a really Irish last name. I think he has red hair in the book. I think she has red hair too, actually. So yeah, from what I recall, it's like a very Irish book. Like it is what it is. Like it's just an adaptation, and they're adapting. And just it looks cool, like I said. It looks like a weird kind of. It almost, some of it reminds me a little like almost how Christopher Nolan might do it. Like maybe something like Interstellar.
Does it have Inception horns?
Did it? It had there's like a Sweet Dreams cover, I think. Sweet Dreams are made of these.
Made of this, mister.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That song was an X-Men, man. I gotta know this song.
It was an X-Men. But it looks cool. Oprah Winfrey's in there, Reese Witherspoon's in there, Zach Galifianakis is in there for some reason. There are some parts that I do remember from the book. So as you know, it seems like it's straying pretty close. I think there's going to be a lot of hype for this movie. I think it's going to make a lot of money. Moving on from that, Tim Burton's Dumbo. I kind of gained a lot more certain recently, just having seen Sweeney Todd, and I've always thought that all the shit he got from people is not really deserved, because, you know, Wes Anderson is a director who has a very distinct style across all his films. And people also complain about him, and Tim Burton doesn't even do that as much. Tim Burton has made some movies that have like that look pretty realistic overall.
Well, the issue with Tim Burton is that he's not, like, he's good visually, and he can do scenes, but, like, his overall movies tend to be very spotty, is kind of the thing. Like, they won't really work as good on a whole as they do in parts, is generally, like, kind of his issue. But
yeah, I need to see a lot of his movies again.
I don't feel like Tim Burton is a good match for Dumbo, though. Because it's like, Dumbo is, like, literally just this, like, you know, cheap little, like, kind of corny kid's tale thing, and I don't know if he'll make it dark.
He's a very like gothic kind of director, right?
Yeah,
well,
he's done non-gothic.
I'm just thinking about like Tim Burton, gothic, Dumbo, mostly cheery movie.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. Like
I realize I can disconnect here.
I haven't seen his Alice in Wonderland movies, but I don't really want to. They don't really look that interesting. I have heard not great things about them. I haven't heard terrible things about them, but I haven't heard great things about them. But like Alice
I
in
like the
Wonderland,
idea of this Alice in Wonderland movies, but I haven't seen them. So.
yeah. But like that's the thing is like Alice in Wonderland kind of works with that, since Alice in Wonderland has always kind of had like some weird stuff to work with, like kind of psychedelic stuff that you can turn gothic. But you know, Dumbo really doesn't. I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming Dumbo's based on a story. I haven't read the original story, and I'm sure the original story is dark because all of those fucking tales are all fucked up in their original form. But you know, if I guess speaking of it, looking at it as an adaptation of the Disney version, it seems kind of pointless. So it could. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what we know so far, which is that there was a video showing from the set. There was no actual footage, but they were showing stuff from the set, and they were showing concept art, which was supposedly colorful and fantastical and in line with the aesthetic of the Alice in Wonderland movie. I'm kind of inclined not to believe that, but that view comes from one person, and right after they say that in the article, they say take from that what you will. So we'll see what it actually looks like. But yeah, Tim Burton kind of started this trend, you could say, of these live-action remakes that Disney is doing of all their movies now.
And other people are doing too. I mean, it's not as if just Disney's doing live-action adaptations of fairy tales.
Yeah, that's true.
It kind of was like, at some point, it was actually kind of like a big thing. It's not too big now. It is mainly Disney doing it, but you had that year where you had Hansel and Gretel, Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah.
You know, you had Snow White and the Huntsman, you know, starring everyone's favorite actress, Kristen Stewart.
I've actually seen some of the Huntsman.
Yeah. Well, you can. You can. I actually have it. So if you want to watch it,
I mean, I've already seen it.
Oh, you have. Oh, I thought you said you haven't.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, continue.
Yeah, so the cast includes Ava Green, who is this good-looking French actress who my dad has kind of a weird attraction to.
Air your family's dirty laundry out here.
It's not too weird, but like it's weird enough that like it's just kind of weird watching movies with her with him. Michael Keaton plays the villain, which is pretty interesting because he, worked with Tim Burton a couple times pretty early on in their respective careers. And now he's working with them again. Danny DeVito's in there as a circus owner. Colin Farrell is in there. Dumbo obviously does not seem to have anyone playing them because I don't think Dumbo talks. So it'll probably just be a CG elephant.
I've forgotten a real elephant. I want practical effects for my large-eared elephants.
Maybe for certain shots. So the original 1941 movie was only an hour long, apparently.
Yep.
So they're going to supposedly add a lot of new material that takes place in a circus that Dumbo's in. So there's going to be a lot of circusy stuff in there.
Do we know
There'll be more
keep...
racist crows.
Yeah, that's part of history, man. Tim Burton, you better keep that shit in.
So were you both asking that at the same time?
Well, no, I was going to ask if they were keeping in the mouse. That's like his guide.
We don't know yet. Yeah, we only know the live-action cast members.
But yeah, but William's right. The real question is whether or not we're keeping the racist crows.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see an interpretation of that. But that's all we know about Dumbo for now. Next bit of news, we're not even halfway through all this yet, is The Lion King. Jon Favreau he's working on The Lion King and I think Jungle Book 2 at the same time because like they're not too hard to make because Jungle Book has like one person and Lion King has 0 people, so it's like essentially an animated film.
But it's a live action adaptation.
Technically, yeah, we're blurring the line now with special effects. So apparently the footage is pretty beautiful. It supposedly was almost shot for shot from the intro to the movie, and people in the audience were crying because of how good it looked. Yeah, the animals were apparently photorealistic, similar to how they are in the Jungle Book, probably even better. We don't really know any specific news about this. It's probably going to be a pretty straight remake. The cast includes James Earl Jones reprising his role as Mufasa, Donald Glover as Simba,
Hell yeah.
comedy stars, according to this article, Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen as Timon and Pumbaa.
All right.
And,
Okay.
I think that's good casting. And
I mean,
John
they are
No,
stoners.
that'd be
They are
interesting. No, I'm ready for this.
Timon and Pumbaa are stoners, so I guess that makes a lot of sense.
And John Oliver, the British comedian who hosts his own HBO show, is playing Zazu, who I think Rowan Atkinson played in the original.
Who's playing Rafiki?
I don't think we know Rafiki yet. That's a good question. However, there has been a big rumor that was not confirmed at D23 about this movie, where Hugh Jackman posted on his Twitter a picture of him at Disneyland in California, right in front of the Walt and Mickey statue with the caption "Partners." People think that he will be voicing Scar in this movie, which would make sense because Scar was voiced by a British, kind of like a British stage actor, Jeremy Irons in the original movie. So that would make sense for Hugh Jackman to voice him in this one. That would be very cool. I think a lot of people would like that. Moving on, Aladdin.
So, what is going to be a villain?
Yeah. I mean, he's very versatile. He can play everything. Oh right, I didn't link the Aladdin thing. I just linked the Lion King thing again.
Yeah, especially dead.
So with Aladdin, no, it's fine. I'm not gonna.
I mean, to be fair, I love Lion King. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. I've seen it linked twice. It's fun for me.
I need to see so many of these again. There were rumors that they were having trouble casting Aladdin and Jasmine, even after this massive casting call they held. But either those rumors weren't true, or they eventually did find their stars. They've cast newcomers, I guess Mena Massoud as Aladdin, and someone from Power Rangers, so not too new, Naomi Scott as Jasmine. The movie is being directed by Guy Ritchie, who is a pretty good director. I think he did, was it Snatch? And he did...
Wait, so the Pink Ranger is going to be Jasmine at Owens?
Yeah, and he did... Guy Ritchie did the new Sherlock Holmes movies. I think it's probably in good hands with that. Oh yeah, shit. Will Smith is a genie.
Okay.
That's like, I forgot if I read that before.
See, like, but that's like that thing, like
Me
the
and Grant
genie
were
not Robin
just
Williams.
screaming inside, going, "What is going on?"
Yeah, like the genie not being Robin Williams, like that was the entire
not fun at
point
all.
of the character. Like, I really don't like, even though the Beauty and the Beast one was decent. I saw it, and that's the only Disney live-action remake I think I've seen so far.
Jungle Book is
Watch Jungle Book.
Yeah, but like the thing is like I kind of still don't like this trying to because at least was Jungle Book. Do you know if it was a shot for shot?
No.
It wasn't.
No.
Okay, I guess Beauty and the Beast kind of was. So like I don't really like it when they do that because then to me that almost tells me that they're like kind of like invalidating the animated version. Like they're like, oh, now we're making
See,
it
what
for
I'm
real.
thinking is to follow up what you're saying is that it's like quote unquote like lazy to make like a movie like, oh, this is live action of something we already did.
Yeah, it's that, and also it's just like to me, it's like they're saying like, oh, here's the definitive version, and it's like it's live action, so it's like, oh, fuck that, stupid ass animation. That's just
Yeah, it cheapens like what they made before that, which was like mostly very beautiful works.
Yeah, though at least with Beauty and the Beast, thankfully, everyone's pretty much unanimous in saying that the animated version was better. But yeah,
I've never seen the remake of Beauty and the Beast, and I guess I'm happy not to see it.
Good. No, it was good. I saw it. It was, it was decent enough. I'm just like, it was just almost a shot-for-shot remake. So like, it was kind of pointless. I was sitting through the entire movie being like, this is decent, but it's like I've already seen this, so like I really don't need to see this again.
I've seen it once before. I don't need to see it like again this live.
Yeah.
I've already had my Beauty and the Beast. I just had it. I had it.
Yeah, they are going a bit overboard. I guess I don't really care that much overall, but it's a bit weird how many of these they're pushing out now. And I definitely understand kind of feeling that maybe some audiences might ignore the animated versions now, which isn't right. And I don't know what the hell the genie's going to look like. That's going to be weird.
Yeah, I'm not ready for Will Smith genie.
They should have just. They should have just. Disney should have just fucking bit the bullet and just did a CG Robin Williams. Like, just take sound
Yeah.
clips from his previous roles and make that into.
I don't think this is gonna work out right.
That's all we know about Aladdin in any case. Now we're into Marvel. Hooray! Freaking the gift that keeps on giving. So footage from Avengers Infinity War was shown at D23. If you want to hear about that, you can look it up because I haven't seen it. Well, no one's seen it, say unless you were there. I haven't read about it. I don't think you guys have read about it.
I've read what you linked me.
Yeah. If you want descriptions of that, you can look it up. Personally, I like Civil War so much that I have faith in the Russo brothers that this is going to be a good product, so I'm going to ignore most of the information on it. But they did have a huge amount of the cast up there on stage for the movie. It was pretty impressive. And they showed some footage, which I hear was good. I hear it was wild, it was intense, and it was crazy. It was very high scale.
And it was snark.
It probably was.
The Russo Bros aren't really like the snarky kind of guys.
But the news that we can talk about was that they have Josh Brolin there, who plays Thanos. And he always kind of seems like... He seems kind of funny when he makes these appearances. Because he's like kind of an actor who seemed like a more serious actor. Though he was in Men in Black 3, but I feel like he might feel kind of strange about playing like this all CG purple man. Just going by, like, he seems kind of awkward at some of these cons when he's like, yeah, woo.
I am an alien who was designed by the god of death. Hello.
Yeah, maybe. In the movies, we don't know. They had him hold up a big Infinity Gauntlet from the movie, and they had him reveal these henchmen of his, who are like the children of Thanos, the Black Order, who are apparently based on relatively new comic book characters. We don't know who's playing them, but they look pretty cool, and they have the weirdest freaking names, which are Corvus Glaive, Proxima Midnight, Ebony Maw, and Cole Obsidian.
And the fifth, not as talked about one, Red Billy Red Cadillac.
You used to sound like Power Rangers villains.
Or Rocket Billy Red Cadillac.
Are you sure Disney didn't just like take like Power Rangers and like all like supposed works and just went, let's just do Power Rangers?
Wait, who is that, Grant? Is that, I'm sure that's
it's a character. It's from what's it called? Gungrave 2, the video game.
Okay.
It's by the guy who made Trigun. But it was by the guy who made Trigun. All those names sounded like Trigun names. Where they just like take the coolest things possible and then just throw them together, and then there you go, name.
Where is the slasher?
The hash slinging slasher. That's the sixth one actually. They didn't make the first one yet.
So yeah, Infinity War is coming. It comes out May 4th, 2018, less than a year from now. And it's going to be just weird. It's going to be, a big culmination of Marvel with some scary space aliens and Thanos. Other Marvel news. Let's see. What was there exactly? Well, I feel like there wasn't much Marvel movie news. There was Marvel ride news, though, which is getting into the theme park section of this. Which I don't really know how many people are really interested in the theme park, because obviously not everybody gets to go to them. Having lived in Florida most of my life, I've been to them several times, and I worked there for a time, as I said, so I could go to them for free for a little bit. There's a few new Marvel announcements in that area, which is, one of them is that the second Disney park in California, which has apparently kind of sucked for a long time, is called Disney California Adventure. It sounds kind of lame. It's getting a whole kind of a Marvel Land section of it. They remodeled Tower of Terror a few months ago into a Guardians of the Galaxy ride in that park. And now they're sort of adding on to that with more Marvel attractions. We don't know what any of it is. In terms of the Florida side of things, there's going to be another Guardians of the Galaxy ride coming to Epcot. And this is not Tower of Terror. I suppose for the time being, they are not remodeling the Tower of Terror in Orlando at Hollywood Studios. Instead, they are remodeling the Ellen DeGeneres ride at Epcot, which I don't know if you guys know about that ride.
No.
But
There's rides in Epcot. I thought you just go there to eat.
no, yeah, Epcot is certainly an interesting park, and I will get into like talking about the general park in a second. But there was a ride. What the hell was it called? It was about energy. It was like Ellen's Energy Adventure or something like that. And it was like this really weird ride. I've been on it. It was built in the 90s, and it was like super 90s. It's like you have this 90s Ellen DeGeneres, before she was a talk show host, before she voiced Dory. And she's talking to Bill Nye from the 90s. And there's a section of the ride where she has like a dream sequence where she goes on Jeopardy from the 90s with Alex Trebek and his mustache from the 90s. And one of her opponents is Jamie Lee Curtis, who, looks like she did in the 90s. So
this is just a national treasure. What's going on here?
Yeah, some people are mad that it's being taken over, but it was actually a really interesting ride where what it was basically you sat in almost like a triple wide movie theater. Like there were these movie theater seats, and you had like 3 blocks of them. So several rows of movie theaters times 3, not movie theater seats. And like the entire thing moved. Just the floor. So it didn't move quickly, given that these are 3 sets of movie theater seats that are turning around and moving. But it did move. So it was like this massive kind of square building. And you did it and sat down and just went through this slow ride through like these models of like forests and dinosaurs. And then you got sat in front of these giant screens where you watched the Ellen footage. And they just talked about energy, because that's like Epcot, the original design of Epcot was for it to talk about history, science, culture. And in that respect, it's a very interesting park. And this new Guardians ride, along with the Ratatouille ride that they are putting in the Paris section of the country's world of Epcot, and the recently opened Frozen ride that I think is in the Norway section of Epcot, which replaced a Norwegian history ride that they had previously.
So instead of educating kids, now let's market to kids some more.
Yes. And that sort of represents a big change for Epcot. Epcot was almost like a sort of cross between a theme park and a museum before, and now they're moving away from that. We don't know what this Guardians ride, we don't know too much about it. It will apparently be a cross between a dark ride, as they call it, and a roller coaster, which I believe is similar to the Green Dots ride in Universal, is what that is. Supposedly, interestingly, some of the art they showed for it involves a picture of young Peter Quill at Epcot. So like this ride could get pretty meta, which might be fun.
Guardians of the Galaxy is a pretty meta movie, so.
Yeah, no, it obviously Guardians of the Galaxy is pretty involved in pop culture. So this should be interesting. The Ratatouille ride is being bought over from, I think, Disneyland in Paris, which obviously the movie takes place in Paris, so that makes sense. And they're also going to remodel the whole, like a lot of the park itself of Epcot, which if you go, a lot of it does look pretty damn dated. So, maybe change is good in this respect, even though they're moving towards more marketing. They're adding another quote-unquote mission to the Mission Space ride, which is always a fun ride. I don't know if you guys rode that.
Is Mission Space the one that's based off of Buzz Lightyear?
No, Mission Space is supposed to be like a semi-realistic spaceship simulator.
Is that the one? What's the one that's in the actual like ball?
That is, the ball is called Spaceship Earth. I forget if that's what the ride's called, but that is not Mission Space. I like that ride.
I feel like I've been on Mission Space though. Is it like is it one of those rides where you're just in like a little chamber and then they like move it around to like simulate?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I believe I've been on that.
It gets pretty intense from what I heard. It used to be even more intense, but then like someone had a heart attack on it or something, and they made it less intense. But it's still pretty damn intense. And it does need an update because the graphics in it are pretty dated at this point. So a lot of goings on at Epcot, but there's more. Along with that, they're bringing over a Tron ride from China. Pretty cool. Shanghai Disneyland has a light cycle ride, and that's coming to Tomorrowland. There were rumors that it was going to replace the Tomorrowland Speedway, which is like this stupid but fun ride. It's just like some weird kind of go-kart thing at Tomorrowland. But no, it's not. It's going to be right next to Space Mountain. It's going to be like, they're going to make some new space for it. But yeah, I guess there's probably footage of the Shanghai one if you want to see what that looks like. I haven't watched it. But I mean, it's light cycle, so it's going to be cool. Other than that, that's most of it. There's a ton of crap. One more ride to talk about. It's not crap. It's just crap in the terms of stuff. There's another ride at Hollywood. Yeah, there's a ride at Hollywood Studios called the Great Movie Ride, which
How long has it been there? I think that's been there for as long as I've been alive, at least.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, like the Ellen ride, it's a ride that is very well liked by like a certain segment of the Disney park lovers. I actually had a friend on Facebook who was really lamenting the loss of both the Ellen ride and the Great Movie Ride. But let's see, Great Movie Ride opened May 1st, 1989. So yep, as long as all of us have been alive. It was sponsored by Turner Classic Movies, and it was based on sort of a lot of classic and modern films. Not too modern though, 1989. And it was this cool ride where you sat on a tram and you went through all these sort of rooms modeled after various movies. And I think the cool thing of the ride was that you had this host on the tram who would guide you through the ride. And at times the host would like get replaced by like a mobster, like an old-timey mobster, or like an Indiana Jones type explorer, and some fun stuff like that. But it was certainly a dated ride, and now it's getting replaced with what is apparently the first ever Mickey Mouse ride at a Disney park. There's never been an actual ride before. There's been, I guess, some other Mickey Mouse themed things, like I think the Philhar Magic that I've never been on, at Magic Kingdom.
I went to it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, but this is actually a ride. It's going to be Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and it makes use of the newish Mickey art style that has been used in the past few Mickey shorts. That's sort of inspired by an old-timey look, but also looks kind of modern in a way. And it's apparently sort of going to be a ride where you're supposedly watching a Mickey short, but then you go inside the Mickey short. And yeah, it's on this train where Goofy is the engineer, and I guess Goofy probably F's up. And that's the ride. But yeah, there's no real, there's not many pictures or concept art, so knowing Disney, the technology is going to be pretty cool, and you'll get to ride with Mickey and Minnie, and their ride's going to have its own theme song. So rest in peace, Ellen Ride and Great Movie Ride.
That's really sad, though. I don't think they should have gotten rid of that. I don't know. There's definitely other rides in Hollywood Studios that they could have gotten rid of.
Probably.
Instead of that.
Yeah, they probably could have remodeled it. Would have been nice.
I wonder if, because last time I went to Hollywood Studios, it was, completely taken over by Star Wars. So, I'm curious if, that's the continuing. If they're still just... They also had the voice actor for Jar Jar Binks there, and I felt really sorry for him.
Was it Ahmed Best?
I think is that his name? Yeah. It was just really weird. I saw him. I didn't go up to him, and I'm just like, that guy's life must suck right now. Because how many people are coming up and yelling at him?
Fuck you. Yeah. Luckily, not many people probably know what he looks like. But it's not over yet.
It said it was whatever his name is, voice of Jar Jar Binks. So.
Yeah, no, I mean when he's on the street.
Oh yeah.
So even though my voice is getting tired, there's still more to come in the Disney information. This is about Star Wars Land coming to Disneyland and Walt Disney World. It's called Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and it is going to be, I believe, much larger than a park section. I don't know if it's going to be quite as large as an actual theme park, but from what I've seen, it's not described as being part of another park. So I'm not really sure what it's going to be, where it's going to be, but it's going to be pretty large, and it's very immersive. They had a full-scale model of the entire park at D23, and apparently they have gone a bit into kind of just who's going to show up there, just the various characters, the various ships. There's a lot of ships kind of scattered around the parks to look at. And I don't think they've confirmed any rides, but there are a lot of rumors that there's going to be, you know, just rides where, you know, you're part of the First Order, you're part of the Resistance, and there's going to be dark rides and roller coasters and all kinds of things. It is going to be huge, and it's very impressive, some of the concept art and the large model that they've shown. You definitely take a look at that model. I think Disney posted a video of it on their Facebook. Very impressive. And then there's also a Star Wars hotel coming to Florida, which is this is interesting to me, actually. It's supposed to be an experience that will immerse you every single minute in the Star Wars universe. You will become an active citizen of the galaxy, complete with proper attire that they will give you to wear.
What happens if you don't wear it? Do they send police over to beat the shit out of you?
That's a good question. I suppose.
When I heard that, I was just thinking about Ratchet and Clank and how the galaxy's full of assholes who are just in it for themselves. And just sitting here going, no, I don't want to be a part of the galaxy. Well, no. Get me out of here.
Yeah, I assume that the cast members who will probably be like, you know, also dressed as Star Wars characters, they'll probably act like Star Wars characters, they'll probably comment on how weird you look or something.
Like that, I can't imagine that's gonna go over very well, because they're gonna do that, and then like a parent's gonna get super fucking pissed off at them, and then they're gonna be like
a normal person.
Yeah, and then the entire place is gonna get shut down. Like this is, like, you know, like a cool idea, but it's Disney World. Like you have a lot of annoying kids there. Like
Yeah.
they're not gonna be like, oh, I understand, you're just playing the part. No, they're just gonna be like, oh, fire that guy.
Supposedly, all the windows will look out into outer space, and not the real world, which might make people feel a bit claustrophobic. You'll see droids running around, but it won't be without its you know, crowd-pleasing stuff. There will be BB-8 beds and stuff like that as well. There's also going to be
Very authentic to the Star Wars universe. There's no doubt.
yeah. There's going to be a Marvel hotel in Paris, but this one will not be immersive, because that might kind of suck to be immersed in like this universe that's constantly under attack. Instead, it's going to be like an arc of Marvel.
I'm sorry, it's just like Disney pays a guy to stab you so that you can get sandwiched by his river. So I continue.
Yeah, so in Paris, I guess there's a Hotel New York, which is a New York-inspired hotel, so they can transform that pretty easily into a Marvel New York hotel, which will include a lot of Marvel props. And my God, I think that's it. There's more stuff that I haven't mentioned, believe it or not. For instance, Mark Ruffalo said a standalone Hulk movie will never happen.
Wow.
There was a Star Wars The Last Jedi behind-the-scenes reel that is quite nice. Shows a lot of stuff on set that I watched. Mary Poppins motion poster. Nutcracker movie. Untitled film set in the Cars/Planes universe. New footage from Pixar's Coco. I don't think I can. Like I'm coughing more and more, so I better stop.
Well, actually, sorry.
Untitled Pixar suburban fantasy film. That's it. That's all.
Well, I mean, this isn't from this week. It was from a few weeks ago. Since we're on the subject of, you know, Disney World, there's actually something really funny. So, and I'm going to get a little bit political, but it's related to the story. Ever since Trump got elected president, one of the first things I thought of is how the hell is Disney going to deal with putting him in the Hall of Presidents?
And that's a good question.
So it's actually funny because we actually ended up kind of getting news on that. So they're having a lot of trouble with the Trump administration trying to get that through, because historically, when every single time a new president's elected, that president gives a speech, when they're the newest one.
Yeah.
and that's been for every president. So they were trying to do that, except the thing is that Disney is usually very heavily involved with the writing of that speech.
So the president actually records the speech.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's like the writing of it is Disney has a lot to do with. The thing is that for some reason the Trump administration has been giving them a lot of shit about that. Like they refuse to allow Disney to let them help write the speech. And obviously, there's the natural controversy of it just being Trump. So they're trying to get it through, but it's, as far as I know, I don't know if there's been developments because it's been a few weeks since I heard about this, but the last I heard of it, they were actually thinking of just returning the Hall of Presidents to be how it was, I think, pre-Bush, where they just didn't have the newest president speaking. Trump might be fucking that up. So
that'll be an interesting thing to follow. I wonder, will they still build a Trump model? Will they just remove all the current era presidents? Because
they'll put a censor bar over his face.
Yeah, because you're gonna have people throwing shit at him. Anyway, I think William has something to talk about. Some pretty sad.
Yeah, I had one last thing I want to bring up, and I'm surprised it's still here actually. But George Romero died today.
George Romero died. Wow.
Yeah, William just linked this on Facebook.
Yeah, I just got the news during the whole Disney thing, and I felt that's why I was kind of quiet because it was
Well, yeah, that's definitely newsworthy. I've only seen Night of the Living Dead. I've never seen any of his other movies. I don't think.
Same.
So
that movie was very good, I would say. And obviously George Romero is a very well-respected filmmaker. Even if the movies kind of got a little silly later on, it's good. I think he was a pretty nice guy from what I've heard. He didn't like The Walking Dead, which is probably the correct opinion.
Right. As far as the comics seem to be good. The show seems to suck. But
yeah.
The video game, the first season of the video game was good. I can tell you that for sure. That was very good. So.
I think he was producing or producing some sort of new zombie movie called Road of the Dead or something. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of quote someone's gonna make about how he's now he can be a zombie or something. I don't know. Some semi-dramatic stuff.
Are they gonna make? They're gonna. Here, I got one right now. The next movie's gonna be George Romero of the Dead.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is that I think they'll probably kind of find a way to make it kind of a somber sort of thing. Now, George, someone will write it better than I could.
There will be a movie about a zombie director who wants to make the world's greatest zombie. No, wait, that wasn't Courage the Cowardly Dog. God damn it. They already had it.
I mean, I'm assuming that if they do some sort of documentary on George Romero, that they'll probably call it George Romero of the Dead or something like that. I think I'll start taking bets on that. But yeah, it certainly is a loss. Even though I'm not a particular fan of his work, he's still definitely a prolific, director.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for bringing that to our attention, William. I guess we should end relatively soon, just because you might have to leave. But I am actually reading something right now, which I think is not sad news, so might be nice to wrap up with something a little nicer or funnier.
Sure.
Where the director Colin Trevorrow has supposedly been trying to reassure people that he is the right choice for Star Wars, despite here's the headline of the article. Colin Trevorrow wants to assure you he's still the right choice for Star Wars, despite the Book of Henry being a thing. The movie. Yeah, it was a movie that he directed. This is Colin Trevorrow, who did Jurassic World, and he's directing Star Wars 9. He did a movie called The Book of Henry, which I think is about a super smart kid that I guess tries to solve a crime, but then he's dying or something.
Yeah, he dies, and then it becomes a revenge story through his diary. It's weird. Look up, I haven't seen it. I kind of want to see it because it sounds hilarious, but it's really stupid and weird. But yeah.
It's one of those interesting bad movies where it's not a movie that would have looked too outwardly bad before it came out, but it's like super awful. Supposedly, universally critically panned, and people were getting very worried about his Star Wars movies. Some people were supposedly wondering if they would kick him out. I never thought that was going to happen. But now he's defending himself. He says he grew up on Star Wars. The values of Star Wars are values that he holds dear. And I quote, I feel that the message of the way that the Force teaches you to treat other people and show respect for others, and the way it guides you through life is really important to me. And I hope everybody would realize that that set of stories has affected me as deeply in my life as it had affected them. So basically, he's saying, I love Star Wars. He says, needs to make a film that will appreciate, even if your experience with it was different, making something that will be deeply emotionally resonant and satisfying for people all around the world. And he thinks about that a lot. So, not too much of a rebuttal. Maybe, he couldn't give too much of a rebuttal because it's not as if he could have said Book of Henry was good.
Like, guys, Book of Henry doesn't exist.
Y'all dreamed it.
It was all a lie.
And yeah, he's basically just saying, I really love Star Wars, and it's going to be hard, but I'm going to do it. So I do wish him luck because I saw one of his earliest movies, which I liked. So, he's had his cock-ups, as they call them, is a real expression. And I wish him luck on that. But I think that's it for this kind of a strangely structured episode.
I'm sorry. Normally, I'm like the wild card of this group. Apparently, I'm actually the brains who demand structure.
Yeah, well, you are kind of the host this time. So if you want to sort of play us out, give whatever final, I don't know. There's always just like kind of a last word segment on these things. So why don't you say something?
I was just gonna say that if there's any like new announcements at Evil, I'll probably just tweet about it at Lightning Kimba.
Oh my God, that was good.
Follow.
Yeah, no, thank you for bringing up Twitter. It's totally slipped my mind. I'll have to bring it up at the beginning of the next episode. We have a Twitter now as a podcast collectively.
Yes, we do.
Yep.
Yes, it is on Twitter at Protocol4Cast. The number 4 cast, which is kind of a play on words of forecast or something. And it's we only just started it, but I am sort of the main voice behind it, but we all can use it. Grant has made a few tweets about net neutrality on the account, and I as well will be retweeting any interesting tweets that the three of us make. So if you like what we do, So,
and one last thing I'd like to bring up is that recently, there's a weird recording thing that we need to fix, but we have a YouTube playlist for our podcast.
Sorry, wait, hold on a second. Logan, repeat what you just said about the Twitter, because my thing crashed, so we lost that.
Oh darn. Well, from where?
You were talk about you were talking about Protocol Forecast.
Yeah, okay, well, do you want me to talk about the whole account or just what the name is?
Talk about the whole account.
Okay, so all the stuff I said about it. All right, so, yeah, we have a Twitter now, as a whole, for the podcast. It's the second time I'm saying this, which is why it's all flustered.
We got this.
So we are on Twitter at Protocol4Cast. It's the number 4 and then cast. And it's a collective Twitter. Yeah, that's not really intentional, but it's there. It's a Twitter for all of us. All of us can use it. I kind of created it. I suppose I will probably be the main voice on it, but all of us can use it. Grant has used it to write a few tweets about net neutrality already. And the pinned tweet on that profile has links to all of our personal accounts. And William, you were going to say that the website link on that account is a YouTube link to a playlist of every episode so far, which you made. So thanks for that, William.
Well, way to take out what I was going to say and just use your own words.
I think it worked.
Yeah.
I think it worked better as a segue.
Yeah, I just sort of mentioned that. Yeah, I just decided to make like a playlist for the episodes in case you've missed one. They're just all there as an archival thing because I'm pretty sure Grant also uses the channel for like other things, so not to let things get lost. There you go. The cast is there.
Yeah, we're moving on up. Yeah, so next week might be a little weird. We might only have 2 people, or I don't know what's going on next week, but we'll be here.
Yeah.
That was it. That's it.
Was that it?
I mean, if you want me to make a joke, I can make a joke.
Yeah, go ahead. You always gotta end on a joke.
Yeah, can you make like a classic style joke, like a knock joke, or like a a regular joke?
Not.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Tekken.
Tekken.
Knock.
Who's there?
What is that?
Tekken.
Right.
I want to get it.
But the point is, at some point, I'm not going to say Tekken. You'll be happy I won't say Tekken anymore.
Oh.
So I'll be talking about those there Smash Brothers.
Well, aren't you glad I didn't say Tekken?
Right.